The alarm clock screamed at 5:30 a.m., just like every other morning. Tom rubbed his tired eyes and rolled out of bed. His back ached from yesterday's work at the construction site, but there was no time to rest. He had to get Maya ready for school before rushing to his first job. Tom walked quietly to his daughter's room and gently shook her shoulder. "Maya, time to wake up, sweetheart." The 8-year-old girl opened her bright brown eyes and smiled at her father. "Morning, Dad." "Morning, Princess. Let's get you ready for school." Tom helped Maya pick out her clothes and made her breakfast. 2 pieces of toast with peanut butter and a glass of milk. It wasn't much, but it was what they could afford. Tom worked 2 jobs but money was always tight. His wife had left them 3 years ago, and since then, it had been just him and Maya against the world. "Dad, can I join the art club at school?" Maya asked between bites of her toast. Tom's heart sank. He knew the art club cost $20 a month. $20 that he didn't have. "We'll see, Maya. Let me check our budget, okay?" Maya nodded, but Tom could see the disappointment in her eyes. It broke his heart. He wanted to give his daughter everything, but some days he could barely pay for the basics. After dropping Maya at school, Tom drove his old truck to the construction site. The truck was 15 years old and made strange noises, but it still ran. Tom couldn't afford to fix it properly, so he just hoped it would keep working. At the construction site, Tom worked hard all day. He carried heavy materials, operated machinery, and helped build a new office building. His supervisor, Mr. Peterson, was a tough man who didn't accept excuses. "Anderson, you were late yesterday," Mr. Peterson said during lunch break. "I'm sorry, sir. My daughter was sick, and I had to take her to the doctor," Tom explained. "I don't care about your personal problems. Be on time or find another job." Tom nodded silently. He couldn't afford to lose this job. It was hard enough to find work without a college degree. After his first job ended at 6 p.m., Tom had 30 minutes to grab dinner before starting his second job. He worked as a security guard at a warehouse from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. It meant he only got a few hours of sleep each night, but Maya needed food, clothes, and a roof over her head. Mrs. Chen, their elderly neighbor, watched Maya in the evenings when Tom worked his night shift. She was a kind woman who refused to take money for babysitting. "Maya is like a granddaughter to me," she always said. Tom was grateful for Mrs. Chen's help. Without her, he wouldn't be able to work 2 jobs. Maya would do her homework at Mrs. Chen's apartment and fall asleep on the couch. Tom would carry her home when he got back from work. This had been Tom's routine for 2 years. Work, sleep, take care of Maya, and repeat. He was tired all the time, but he never complained. Maya was his world, and he would do anything to take care of her. On this particular Tuesday night, Tom finished his security shift at 3 a.m. He was driving home through the quiet city streets when he saw something that made his heart stop. About 100 yards ahead, a car had crashed through the guardrail of a bridge. The vehicle was upside down, hanging partially over the edge. Smoke was rising from the engine, and Tom could smell gasoline in the air. Without thinking, Tom pulled his truck over and ran toward the accident. As he got closer, he could see someone inside the overturned car. It was a young woman, probably in her 20s. She was unconscious and trapped by her seatbelt. Tom looked around for other people, but the street was empty. It was too late for most people to be driving, and too early for the morning commuters. He was alone. The smell of gasoline was getting stronger. Tom knew that if the car caught fire, the woman inside would die. He had to act fast. Tom tried to open the car door, but it was jammed shut. The metal was bent and twisted from the impact. He ran back to his truck and grabbed a tire iron from his toolbox. Using the tire iron, Tom managed to break the passenger side window. Glass cut his hands as he cleared away the broken pieces, but he ignored the pain. The woman was still unconscious, blood running down her face from a cut on her forehead. Tom crawled through the broken window into the upside-down car. The space was cramped, and the woman was hanging upside down, held only by her seatbelt. Her breathing was shallow, and Tom could see she was badly hurt. "Can you hear me?" Tom asked, but the woman didn't respond. Tom knew he had to get her out quickly. The car was making creaking sounds, and he could hear metal scraping against the bridge structure. The vehicle could fall at any moment. Tom used his pocket knife to cut through the seatbelt. As soon as the belt was cut, the woman's weight fell against him. She was heavier than she looked, and Tom struggled to support her in the tight space. Carefully, Tom maneuvered the unconscious woman toward the broken window. He had to push her out first, then follow her. His hands were bleeding from the glass, and his back screamed in pain, but he kept going. Just as Tom got the woman out of the car, he heard a loud cracking sound. The guardrail that was holding the car was starting to break. Tom grabbed the woman under her arms and pulled her away from the edge of the bridge. They had barely moved 20 feet when the guardrail gave way completely. The car fell into the river below with a tremendous splash. Moments later, Tom saw flames on the water's surface. The car had caught fire just as he had feared. Tom's hands were shaking as he checked the woman's pulse. She was alive, but she needed medical help immediately. Tom called 911 on his cell phone. "911, what's your emergency?" "There's been a car accident on Riverside Bridge. A woman is badly hurt. She needs an ambulance right away." "Sir, are you injured?" Tom looked at his bleeding hands and felt the pain in his back. "I'm okay. Just send help for the woman. Emergency responders are on their way. Please stay on the line." Tom stayed with the unconscious woman until he heard sirens in the distance. The ambulance arrived first, followed by police cars and a fire truck. The paramedics immediately went to work on the woman, checking her vital signs and preparing to transport her to the hospital. "Sir, can you tell us what happened?" a police officer asked Tom. "I was driving home from work when I saw the car go through the guardrail. The woman was trapped inside, so I got her out." "Did you witness the actual accident?" "No, I just saw the car hanging over the bridge when I drove by." The police officer wrote down Tom's information and asked a few more questions. Tom answered them all, but he kept glancing at his watch. He needed to get home soon. Maya would be waking up in a few hours, and he had to get her ready for school. The paramedics loaded the woman into the ambulance. As they were about to leave, one of them approached Tom. "You saved her life," the paramedic said. "If you hadn't gotten her out when you did, she wouldn't have made it." Tom nodded but didn't say anything. He wasn't looking for praise or recognition. He had simply done what anyone would do in that situation. As the ambulance drove away, Tom realized he never learned the woman's name. He hoped she would be okay, but he would probably never see her again. That was fine with him. Tom wasn't the type of person who needed thanks or rewards for doing the right thing. Tom drove home as the sun was starting to rise. His hands were bandaged with napkins from his truck, and his clothes were torn and dirty. He was exhausted, but he had to keep going. Maya would be awake soon, and she needed her father to be strong. When Tom got home, he quietly showered and changed his clothes. He threw away his torn shirt and washed the blood off his hands properly. Maya didn't need to know about what had happened. She already worried too much about him working dangerous jobs. At 6:30 a.m., Tom woke Maya up for school, just like every other day. She smiled at him sleepily, and Tom felt his heart fill with love for his daughter. This was what mattered. This was why he worked so hard and sacrificed so much. "Dad, your hands are bandaged. What happened?" Maya asked as she noticed the white tape around his fingers. "I just cut myself on some metal at work." "It's nothing serious," Tom said, trying to sound casual. Maya looked worried. "Does it hurt?" "Not anymore," princess. Don't worry about it. Tom made Maya's breakfast and got her ready for school. As he dropped her off, he watched her run toward the building with her backpack bouncing behind her. She turned and waved goodbye, and Tom waved back with his bandaged hand. Tom had no idea that the woman he saved was Anna Davis, daughter of the CEO of the construction company where he worked. He had no idea that his life was about to change in ways he could never imagine. All Tom knew was that he had helped someone who needed help, and now it was time to go back to his regular life. He had bills to pay, work to do, and a daughter to take care of. As Tom drove toward his day job, he thought about the accident one more time. He hoped the woman would recover completely and go on to live a happy life. That was all the reward Tom needed. The morning traffic was starting to build up, and Tom merged into the slow-moving line of cars. Just another ordinary day in the life of an ordinary man who had done something extraordinary without even realizing it. 3 weeks passed like any other 3 weeks in Tom's life. He woke up early, got Maya ready for school, worked his construction job, then worked his night security job. The bandages came off his hands after a few days, leaving small scars that reminded him of that night on the bridge. Tom never told anyone about the accident. Not Mrs. Chen, not his co-workers, not even Maya. It wasn't that he was trying to keep it secret. Tom just didn't think it was important enough to talk about. He had helped someone, and that was the end of the story. Maya noticed that her father seemed more tired than usual, but she didn't know why. Tom had been having trouble sleeping since the accident. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the overturned car hanging over the bridge. He wondered if the woman had survived, but he had no way to find out. Work at the construction site was getting harder. Mr. Peterson, the supervisor, seemed to pick on Tom more than the other workers. Tom was often assigned the most difficult and dangerous jobs. He never complained, but it was wearing him down. "Anderson, you're late again," Mr. Peterson said one Monday morning. Tom checked his watch. He was only 3 minutes late, and it was because of heavy traffic. "I'm sorry, sir. I'll make up the time. This is the 3rd time this month. I'm writing you up." Tom accepted the warning without argument. He couldn't afford to get fired, no matter how unfairly he was being treated. Maya needed the money from this job. At home, things were getting tighter financially. The grocery bill was higher than usual because food prices had gone up. Maya's shoes were getting too small, but Tom couldn't afford to buy new ones yet. He was falling behind on the electric bill. "Dad, the lights went off for a few minutes yesterday," Maya said one evening. Tom's heart sank. The electric company had sent a warning about disconnecting service if he didn't pay soon. "It was probably just a temporary problem, sweetheart. Nothing to worry about." But Tom was worried. Very worried. He was working as hard as he could, but it felt like he was drowning in bills and responsibilities. Sometimes he lay awake at night wondering how much longer he could keep this up. Mrs. Chen noticed that Tom looked stressed. "You work too hard," she told him one evening when he came to pick up Maya. "You need to take care of yourself too." "I'm fine, Mrs. Chen. Thank you for watching Maya. That little girl loves you very much. You're a good father, Tom." Tom smiled sadly. He wanted to be a good father, but he felt like he was failing. Maya deserved better than a father who could barely pay the bills. On Thursday morning of the 3rd week, something unusual happened. Tom was working on the construction site when Mr. Peterson approached him with a strange look on his face. "Anderson, Mr. Davis wants to see you in his office." Tom felt his stomach drop. Mr. Davis was the CEO of the entire company. Tom had never even seen him in person, let alone spoken to him. This could only mean one thing: Tom was getting fired. Did he say what it was about? Tom asked. "No. But you better get cleaned up. He's waiting for you." Tom's hands were shaking as he washed the dirt off his face and hands in the bathroom. He tried to think of what he might have done wrong. Maybe Mr. Peterson had complained about his tardiness. Maybe someone had reported him for something. Tom had never been inside the main office building. It was much fancier than the construction trailers where the workers usually gathered. There were marble floors, expensive paintings on the walls, and well-dressed people walking around with important-looking papers. The elevator ride to the top floor felt like it took forever. Tom stared at his reflection in the polished metal doors. His work clothes looked dirty and old compared to the business suits he had seen in the lobby. "Mr. Anderson?" The secretary at the front desk smiled at him. "Mr. Davis is waiting for you. Please go right in." Tom knocked on the heavy wooden door and heard a voice say, "Come in." The office was huge, with floor-to-ceiling windows that looked out over the entire city. Behind a large desk sat a man in an expensive suit. He looked to be in his 50s, with gray hair and kind eyes. This had to be Mr. Davis. But Tom was surprised to see that Mr. Davis wasn't alone. Sitting in a chair next to the desk was a young woman with dark hair. She had a small scar on her forehead, and her left arm was in a sling. Something about her looked familiar, but Tom couldn't place where he might have seen her before. "Mr. Anderson, please sit down," Mr. Davis said, standing up from his chair. Tom noticed that Mr. Davis's eyes were red, as if he had been crying. This was very confusing. Why would the CEO of a major construction company be emotional about firing a regular worker? "Sir, if this is about my being late a few times, I can explain," Tom started to say. "Mr. Anderson, please." Mr. Davis held up his hand. "This isn't about your work performance. This is about something much more important." The young woman was staring at Tom intently. Her eyes were wide, and she seemed to be studying his face carefully. "Do you recognize this young lady?" Mr. Davis asked. Tom looked at the woman again. There was definitely something familiar about her, but he couldn't remember where they might have met. "I'm sorry, but I don't think so." The woman spoke for the first time. Her voice was soft but clear. 3 weeks ago, on Riverside Bridge, around 3 in the morning. Suddenly, it all came back to Tom. The overturned car. The smell of gasoline. The unconscious woman he had pulled from the wreckage. This was her. "You were in the accident," Tom said quietly. The woman nodded, tears forming in her eyes. "You saved my life." Mr. Davis walked around his desk and stood next to Tom's chair. "Mr. Anderson, this is my daughter, Anna. Because of you, she's still alive." Tom felt overwhelmed. He had never expected to see the woman again, and he certainly never expected to learn that she was the daughter of his company's CEO. "I'm glad you're okay," Tom said to Anna. "But I just did what anyone would have done." "No," Anna said firmly. "Most people would have called 911 and waited for help. You risked your own life to save a complete stranger." Mr. Davis sat down in the chair next to Tom. "Anna has been in the hospital for 2 weeks. She has 3 broken ribs, a concussion, and a broken arm. The doctors said if you hadn't gotten her out when you did, she would have died." Tom didn't know what to say. He felt uncomfortable with all this attention and praise. "I'm just happy she survived." "How did you find me?" "The police report had your name and contact information," Anna explained. "But it took us a while to realize you worked for my father's company. We looked at the security footage from that night," Mr. Davis added. "We could see your truck's license plate. When we traced it back to you and saw that you were one of our employees, I couldn't believe it." Tom felt embarrassed. His old truck probably looked terrible compared to the expensive cars these people were used to seeing. "Mr. Anderson," Mr. Davis continued, "I want to thank you personally for what you did. You gave me back my daughter. There's no way I can ever repay you for that." "You don't need to repay me," Tom said quickly. "I'm just glad Anna is safe." Anna leaned forward in her chair. "Can you tell us about yourself? About your family?" Tom hesitated. These people lived in a completely different world from his. He didn't want their pity. There's not much to tell. I have a daughter named Maya. She's 8 years old. What about your wife? Mr. Davis asked. It's just Maya and me. Her mother left when Maya was 5. Anna and her father exchanged a look. Tom could see the sympathy in their eyes, and it made him uncomfortable. What does Maya like to do? Anna asked gently. Tom's face lit up when he talked about his daughter. She loves to draw and paint. She's very artistic. She wants to join the art club at school, but... Tom stopped himself. He didn't want to mention money problems to these wealthy people. But what? Anna pressed. It costs money that we don't have right now, Tom admitted reluctantly. Mr. Davis and Anna were quiet for a moment. Tom could see them thinking, and he was afraid they were going to offer him money. That would be humiliating. Mr. Anderson, Mr. Davis finally said, I want to give you a reward for saving Anna's life. That's very kind, sir, but I can't accept money for doing the right thing. It wouldn't be charity, Mr. Davis insisted. You risked your life for my daughter. That deserves recognition. Tom stood up from his chair. I appreciate the thought, but I don't want a reward. I have to get back to work now. Wait, Anna said. At least let us pay for Maya's art club. No, thank you. Maya and I will figure it out on our own. Tom walked toward the door, but Anna's voice stopped him. You're working 2 jobs, aren't you? Tom turned around. How did you know that? The accident happened at 3 in the morning. You were driving home from somewhere. And you look exhausted. Tom felt exposed. He didn't like people knowing how hard his life was. I do what I need to do to take care of my daughter. You shouldn't have to work yourself to death, Anna said. Especially not after what you did for me. I'm fine. Really. I need to go now. Tom left the office quickly, before they could ask him any more questions or offer him any more help. He didn't want their pity or their money. He just wanted to go back to his normal life and forget this conversation ever happened. But as Tom rode the elevator back down to the construction site, he couldn't stop thinking about Anna's words. She was right, he was exhausted. He was working himself to death, and he wasn't sure how much longer he could keep it up. When Tom got back to the work site, the other workers looked at him curiously. What did the big boss want? One of them asked. Nothing important, Tom replied. But Tom knew that wasn't true. Something important had just happened, even if he wasn't sure what it meant yet. His quiet, anonymous life had just become much more complicated. That evening, when Tom picked up Maya from Mrs. Chen's apartment, his daughter could tell something was different. You look worried, Dad. Did something bad happen at work? Tom picked up his daughter and hugged her tightly. No, Princess. Nothing bad happened. I just had a very strange day. As Tom carried Maya home, he thought about Anna and her father. They seemed like good people, but they lived in a world he didn't understand. He hoped they would just let him return to his normal life and forget about the whole thing. Tom had no idea that Anna Davis was not the type of person to just forget about someone who had saved her life. Anna Davis couldn't stop thinking about Tom Anderson and his daughter Maya. For 3 days after their meeting, she sat in her father's office, staring out the window at the construction site below. She could see Tom working with the other men, carrying heavy materials and operating machinery. Anna's broken rib still hurt when she breathed deeply, and her arm would be in a sling for another month. Every time she felt the pain, she remembered that she was alive because of Tom's courage. But what bothered her most was the image of Tom's tired face and his worn-out clothes. Dad, I want to do something for Tom, Anna said during one of their daily meetings. Mr. Davis looked up from his papers. I told you, honey, he won't accept money. Some people are too proud for their own good. Then we have to be creative. Anna spent the next week learning everything she could about Tom's situation. She discovered that he had been working for their company for 2 years and had never been promoted. His supervisor, Mr. Peterson, had written several negative reports about Tom, mostly complaining about tardiness. Anna also learned that Tom worked as a night security guard at a warehouse across town. The math was simple: Tom was working nearly 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. No wonder he looked exhausted. "Dad, I have an idea," Anna said. "But I need your help." The next Monday morning, Mr. Peterson called Tom into his trailer office on the construction site. Tom expected another warning about being late, but instead, Mr. Peterson had some surprising news. "Anderson, corporate has decided to promote you to site supervisor," Mr. Peterson said, though he didn't look happy about it. Tom stared at his supervisor in shock. "I'm sorry, what?" "You heard me. Effective immediately, you're in charge of the electrical crew. Your new salary is $60,000 a year, plus benefits." Tom couldn't believe what he was hearing. A site supervisor position was exactly the kind of job he had dreamed of getting. The salary was nearly double what he was making now. With that much money, he might be able to quit his night job and actually spend time with Maya. "Sir, I don't understand." "Why me?" Mr. Peterson shrugged. "Corporate says you have leadership potential and strong work ethic. They want to give you a chance to prove yourself." Tom walked out of the trailer in a daze. His co-workers congratulated him, but Tom felt confused. He had been working for this company for 2 years without any recognition. Why would they suddenly promote him now? That evening, Tom had even more surprising news when he picked up Maya from school. Her teacher, Mrs. Williams, approached him with a big smile. "Mr. Anderson, I have wonderful news about Maya," she said. "She's been selected for a special art scholarship program." "A scholarship program?" "Yes, it's sponsored by a local foundation. They will pay for Maya to attend art classes every Saturday, plus they'll provide all her art supplies. The program also includes tutoring in other subjects if she needs it." Tom felt overwhelmed. First the promotion, now a scholarship for Maya. It seemed too good to be true. How was Maya selected for this? Tom asked. "The foundation looks for talented children who might not otherwise have access to art education. Maya's art teacher recommended her based on her drawings." That night, Maya was so excited she could barely contain herself. "Dad, I get to go to real art classes. With real art teachers. And I get my own set of paints and brushes." Tom watched his daughter's happy face and felt his heart swell with joy. This was what he had always wanted for Maya, opportunities to develop her talents and be happy. But as the days passed, Tom began to feel suspicious. The timing of both good events seemed too convenient. They had happened right after his meeting with Anna and Mr. Davis. Tom decided to do some investigating. During his lunch break, he went to the main office building and asked to speak with the human resources manager. "Mrs. Rodriguez, can you tell me how I was selected for promotion?" Tom asked. Mrs. Rodriguez looked through some files. "It says here that your promotion was recommended by our company's community outreach program. They identified you as a deserving employee who needed advancement opportunities." "Community outreach program?" "Yes, it's a new initiative started by Mr. Davis's daughter. She's been reviewing employee files to find hard-working people who haven't been properly recognized." Tom felt a knot forming in his stomach. He thanked Mrs. Rodriguez and left the building. That evening, Tom called the foundation that had given Maya her scholarship. After some persistent questioning, he learned that the scholarship had been funded by an anonymous donor just 2 weeks earlier. The timing matched perfectly with his meeting in Mr. Davis's office. Tom felt angry and embarrassed. He had been very clear that he didn't want charity, but Anna had found a way to help him anyway. It felt like she had gone behind his back and manipulated his life. The next morning, Tom requested a meeting with Mr. Davis. He was told that Anna would be joining them, which was exactly what Tom wanted. Tom sat in the same chair he had occupied a month earlier, but this time he felt very different. Instead of being confused and grateful, he was upset and betrayed. "I know what you did," Tom said as soon as Anna and her father sat down. Anna looked at him calmly. "What are you talking about?" "The promotion. Maya's scholarship. You arranged all of it." Mr. Davis started to speak, but Anna held up her hand to stop him. "You're right," Anna said simply. "I did arrange those things. I told you I didn't want charity. I told you I could take care of my daughter on my own." Anna leaned forward in her chair. "Tom, can I ask you something? Do you think you deserved that promotion?" The question surprised Tom. "What do you mean? You've been working for this company for 2 years. You're always on time, you work hard, and you never complain. You have experience in electrical work from your previous jobs. Don't you think you were qualified to be a supervisor?" Tom hesitated. He had often wondered why he was never considered for advancement. "Maybe, but that's not the point." "It is exactly the point," Anna said firmly. "You deserved that promotion based on your skills and work ethic. The only reason you didn't get it before was because your supervisor, Mr. Peterson, was preventing it." "What do you mean?" Mr. Davis pulled out a file folder. "We investigated after Anna brought your situation to my attention. Mr. Peterson had been writing negative reports about you that weren't supported by your actual performance. We think he was discrimination against you because of your personal situation." Tom felt shocked. "Discrimination? Some supervisors don't like employees who have family responsibilities," Anna explained. "They think single parents are unreliable. Mr. Peterson was holding you back unfairly. And Maya's scholarship," Anna continued, "she earned that based on her talent. The art teacher said Maya is one of the most naturally gifted students she's ever seen. Maya deserved those opportunities." Tom felt his anger starting to fade, but he was still confused. "Then why did you have to get involved? Why couldn't these things happen naturally?" Anna was quiet for a moment. "Because sometimes the world isn't fair to good people. Sometimes people who deserve good things don't get them, not because they aren't worthy, but because the system is broken. You saved my life, Tom," Anna continued. "You risked everything for a complete stranger. If someone like you can't get ahead in life, then what hope is there for anyone?" Tom stared at Anna's sincere face. He had never thought about it that way. "I don't want you to feel like this is charity," Anna said. "I want you to understand that you earned these opportunities. I just made sure the right people noticed your worth." Mr. Davis nodded. "Tom, in the month since your promotion, your crew has been more productive than any other team on the site. You're a natural leader. We didn't give you something you couldn't handle." Tom thought about the past month. He had been enjoying his new responsibilities at work. His crew respected him, and he felt proud of the projects they completed together. Maybe Anna was right. Maybe he had deserved the promotion. "What about Maya's scholarship?" Tom asked. "Go look at your daughter's artwork," Anna suggested. "Really look at it. Then tell me she doesn't deserve every opportunity we can give her." That evening, Tom sat with Maya as she worked on a painting for her art class. He watched her carefully choose colors and create beautiful images that seemed to come from her imagination. Tom realized that Anna was right, Maya was truly gifted. "Dad, do you like my painting?" Maya asked. "It's beautiful, Princess. You're very talented. My art teacher says I might be able to go to a special art school someday if I keep practicing." Tom felt tears in his eyes. For the first time in years, Maya had real hope for her future. She was talking about dreams and possibilities instead of just surviving day by day. The next week, Tom called Anna and asked if they could meet for coffee. Anna agreed, and they met at a small cafe near the hospital where she was still receiving physical therapy. "I owe you an apology," Tom said when they sat down. "No, you don't. I understand why you were upset. I've been thinking about what you said. About good people deserving good things. I guess I never believed that applied to me. Anna stirred her coffee thoughtfully. Can I ask you something personal? Why do you work so hard? For Maya. Everything I do is for Maya. And what do you want for her? I want her to have opportunities one never had. I want her to be happy and successful. Anna smiled. Then you understand exactly why I did what I did. You work hard to give Maya a better life. I used my resources to give both of you better opportunities. We both want the same thing, for good people to have good lives. Tom looked at Anna across the table. Despite her wealthy background, she seemed genuine and kind. Why was it so important to you to help us? Anna touched the small scar on her forehead. Because you saved my life without knowing anything about me. You didn't know if I was rich or poor, good or bad. You just saw someone who needed help, and you helped. That kind of goodness is rare. I just did what felt right. Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to do too, what feels right. Over the following months, Tom and Anna became genuine friends. Anna would sometimes visit the construction site to check on projects, and she always stopped to talk with Tom about his work and Maya's progress in art school. Anna learned about the struggles of working-class life, while Tom learned that not all wealthy people were selfish or disconnected from reality. They both discovered that kindness and compassion could build bridges between very different worlds. Maya flourished in her art program. Her confidence grew along with her skills, and she began talking about becoming a professional artist someday. Tom was able to quit his night job and spend evenings helping Maya with homework and attending her art shows. 1 year after the bridge accident, Anna organized a small celebration in her father's office. Tom and Maya were guests of honor, along with the paramedics who had treated Anna that night. I want to thank everyone who was part of saving my life, Anna said. But most of all, I want to thank Tom for showing me what real heroism looks like. Maya tugged on her father's sleeve. Dad, what's heroism? Tom thought for a moment. Heroism is doing the right thing even when it's hard or scary. It's helping people who need help, even if no one will ever know you did it. Anna nodded. Your dad is a hero, Maya. And not just because of what he did that night. He's a hero every day because he works hard to take care of you and never gives up. As they drove home that evening, Maya looked at her father with new admiration. Dad, I want to be a hero like you when I grow up. Tom smiled at his daughter. You already are a hero, princess. Heroes come in all sizes. Tom had learned that sometimes accepting help wasn't a sign of weakness, it was a way of allowing good things to happen to good people. And sometimes, the greatest gift you can give someone is the chance to help others, just as he had helped Anna on that dark bridge 3 years ago.